I'm so excited to be here. Can't wait to be on this journey together. So I guess the first thing I'll ask, which embarrassed me slightly to ask, but what excited you about Arcade and what got you excited to partner with us?
As software becomes more powerful and there's this insatiable demand for tools that allow folks to showcase their products, their very nuanced products, there's really a need for a product like Arcade that makes it really easy and simple to produce some really powerful demos for these software products. And what I loved about Arcade was that it just allowed folks to really simply pick up your product and demonstrate the sophisticated nature of the products of your customers. And there's something about it where it's not only just simple and beautiful, but also very powerful and allows people who are doing very nuanced work to showcase their products.
Well, yeah, you used the word simple and beautiful, and that means so much to me that you see that because I care so much about. I mean, the word beauty is such a subjective term, but I think that having that polish for our customers is so important because they're putting on their home pages, they're putting on in front of many people, and so I take that very seriously. So when you saw that and honed in on that, I remember even actually the first time we pitched you during a seed round, you pointed out to me that we needed to do some optimizations on mobile, and I love that feedback because you understood the product and you pushed us to be better, and we since made a lot of changes to the mobile experience, so thank you for that. So I have to say, one reason why we're so excited about partnering with you and Kleiner is you've seen this in so many other ways. You've partnered with Figma, you partnered with Slack, but the question always is, at the time, people thought, oh, that's such a specific market. How do you see the vision of that? And Arcade, we're still thinking about that as well and have a few perspectives. But I'm just curious from your side, what do you think you saw in those companies? Is the applicability or not to Arcade?
It's a great question because if you look back at Slack and Figma when I got involved, these are both companies that allow people to communicate very effectively in different ways. And in the case of Slack, actually, if you go back to the early days, it was really used by engineers to share code snippets and look at bug reports that were generated by machines and sent to Slack channels, being viewed by groups of developers or developers to developers communicating. But it's really started with a certain segment of the population inside of a company. In a similar vein, actually, Figma started with designers. And designers would communicate with their marketing teams and with engineers. But for the early days, it was mostly designers that were using Figma. And then it started to spread to marketers and then to engineers, which is how sort of I see Arcade as well, where initially, as you know better than I do, it started out with folks wanting to do product demos with Arcade, and then you had marketers starting to use Arcade as well, and then other folks inside the organization using Arcade in addition. And so I love these products that are simple, beautiful, allow people to communicate effectively. And if I take that to Arcade, it's you create this simple thing called an Arcade, and then you share it with people. People view it, and they ask themselves, oh, what is this Arcade thing? How do I create one of these myself? And so they create one themselves, and then they share it with their coworkers or with their customers, and they look at these, and so you have this beautiful, very efficient way of growing the virality of your product and just increasing adoption and hopefully signing up a lot of customers.
That's our plan. We've been excited by that, and the fact that other people see Arcade has been such an underrated part of our growth. We experiment with so many different investments, but the way people discover Arcade is primarily through receiving one, whether it's a potential sale or someone inside the company. And the thing that I feel is really underestimated about arcade is they hear the word, oh, demo, so it must be a very specific use case, but the reality is so many people use it in so many different ways. It's any time, like you talked about engineers at Slack, we have many engineers using arcade where like every time they build a product, they just share an arcade inside the company and people start giving feedback on it. So that's been one thing we've really embraced and continue to build on. And then for the next big investment is AI. I know many companies are thinking about that. You're thinking about it as a firm. I have a few points of view around AI and content, but yeah, what have you seen like really been the powerful applications? And what do you think is maybe not as known? I mean, I can start by some other thoughts as well, if that's better, but yeah.
I would say that we love applications of AI that especially help people do their job faster and better, and looking at specific job types and making a salesperson more efficient by taking away some of the more menial parts of their job, or allowing a doctor to be superpowered with an AI co-pilot as they do their notes and transcribing their notes rather than having to type in their notes. And so I imagine in a similar vein, maybe to turn the question back to you, is how do you envision AI specifically helping the folks that are already using arcade today?
Yeah, so when I first started the journey, I thought, okay, ROI and success with arcade, of course, is all about revenue impact. So like you close deals faster, you see faster onboarding times, the impact from the customer base. And what really surprised me, I would get on the phone with chief revenue officers of billion-dollar companies and come prepared with my presentation about all the impact metrics. And one person cut me off in the middle of his presentation, and he was just like, oh, this is great, but all I care about is people being empowered to build great content quickly. And it was such a simple statement, and I was surprised to hear that from him. But I realized, okay, so it's really come back to those same principles we talked about earlier, where you have something easy to use that build beautiful content. And so if you just solve that problem, then we're solving the executive's problems, we're solving the creative problems. So to that end, that's why we're using AI. So we're taking the data sets that we know performs really well, and especially applying it inside companies. So if you take a multi-100-person company, there's a lot of content you're building. So we see a lot of potential in building content quickly, pre-populated copy, pre-populated storylines. We actually compare what we know performs really well in the website context and apply that to the arcade itself. So that's one quick win that we're already building towards and have started working around. But I think it really comes back to the data set we have and training that data to be even more and more applicable and high quality. And that's the hard part. The hard part isn't building. The hard part is really high quality output. And I'm excited by what we're building. We're getting great feedback so far, but it's a constant challenge.
That's great. Well, what are some very specific applications of AI in the product today?
Yeah, so today, so when you build an arcade, we actually capture the code behind the product. So we know what's inside the product, we know what parts of it are most exciting to people, and we also know if you host it somewhere, like how it's performing. So we take all of that data into automated copy. So like in each hotspot, we suggest to you what to write. We actually have the length of arcade based on like what we know performs the best. We even have like automated like sound smoothing, so like taking out background noise, removing filler words, which is a common application of AI. And then there's even more futuristic ideas, which a lot of people think I'm crazy, but I'm really convinced it's going to be the future where you can really reimagine content that the way that it actually feels and works like an app through AI. It's not hard to imagine taking a vision model and then pairing that with front-end code and then making that look and feel like a real app. So excited to roll that out. But yeah. Is
our demo agent coming out soon?
Yes. That's why we have a new arcade agent called Avery. That's something very excited by, and I'm going to keep investing in that. So we have a few design partners today, but is going to be something we're rolling out to the wider customer base soon.
So if I get this right, you can just type in what you want Avery to do,
Yes.
and it will create a demo for you?
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing.
Well, we have to build it and continue to build on it, so I'm excited to do that.
Amazing.
Well, I'm super excited to be on this chapter with you, and I can't wait to see what we build and make history together.
We're so excited to be part of this journey, and we're going to make history together, I'm sure.
Can't wait.